you can't stop yo-yo dieting, why you can't lose the weight. This is why you can't lose weight, girl. Because you're being so mean to yourself and you are so hard on yourself. And you think that being mean to yourself and being hard on yourself is productive because you think that doing so is going to get your butt into gear. But all it really does is makes you feel inadequate, and it makes you feel like there's something wrong with you, like you're not enough, like you're not doing enough. And then you stress out and then you get anxious. And then you know what you do when you stress out and get anxious. You feel unmotivated to go to the gym and you want to eat your feelings and potentially drink your feelings away with alcohol or smoke them away with Mary J. And then that leads you to eat even more and hate yourself even more. So, contrary to your belief or popular beliefs, being mean to yourself does not help, does not work, and keeps you stuck in the yo-yo dieting cycle. And that was a mistake that I made for over 12 years. And once I finally realized that being mean to myself and being hard on myself, which I learned from family members, so I thought that's just how you're supposed to discipline yourself. When I realized that it was counterproductive and actually harmful, I decided from that point on that I was only going to be nice and uplifting and encouraging with myself and compassionate with myself. And what that looks like is when you are struggling with cravings, instead of telling yourself, you are going to fail, you can't do this, what's wrong with you, why are you struggling so hard with cravings, you're going to go, okay, I'm a human being. That's okay. I am doing the best I can. How can I make this easier on myself? Or if you are at the gym and you are so tired, instead of being meaner to yourself and saying, oh, come on, you're so fat and you're not going to lose the weight unless you finish the workout, you're going to say, okay, I'm really tired. Can I continue to push myself a little bit more? No. Okay. You know what? At least I got to the gym and at least I did something that's better than nothing. But there's a difference between pushing yourself and being encouraging with yourself and just being hard on yourself and mean to yourself and picking yourself apart in the mirror and saying how fat you are. That is unproductive and that is not helpful. And it's so easy to fall into that trap. And I know because I did it for 12 over, not even 12, like over, way over 12 years. But I'm telling you right now, being hard on yourself, picking yourself apart, telling yourself that you're lazy, you can't do this, you're a failure, and beating yourself up for when you mess up rather than being compassionate that you're a human being, that's going to keep you stuck. Every time you mess up and you don't follow through in your actions, it is just your body and your mind telling you, hey, something's going on here and we need to try a different method, or what we're doing right now, it's not working. So there's something to be learned and to be gained from this experience. What can we learn? But when you're stuck in beating yourself up, you don't even have the mental or emotional capacity to pause and ask yourself, what am I supposed to be learning from this? Maybe I'm learning that I set too strict of a diet and I need to loosen the reins. Maybe I'm pressuring myself to change too much at once and I need to focus on doing less and fewer things. Every time you mess up and you beat yourself up, you are wasting your energy. Every time you mess up, instead of beating yourself up, just ask yourself, what is my body and mind trying to teach me? What am I supposed to be learning from this? Because there is a lesson to be learned. What am I supposed to be learning from this? It's not to be meaner to myself and to be harder on myself. If that worked, and I always say this to my clients, if being mean to yourself worked, you would be the fittest, tonest, leanest person in the world. You're not. If you're watching this and you're on a weight loss journey, I'm assuming you're not at your goal body, which means being mean to yourself is not working. So let's try being nice to ourselves and say, you know what? What did I do well today? What did I change today? Did I improve just by 1% today? How can I celebrate that? How can I celebrate that? And the reason why this is so important is because the more that you celebrate even the tiniest wins that you make, that is going to give you fuel and positivity, encouragement to keep going and to then continue to change more and more things in your habits so that you can then reach your dream body. But the harder you are on yourself, even if you overate thousands of calories and you missed a month of workout, the meaner you are to yourself, it's just going to keep you stuck in this cycle of self-hatred and anxiety and depression, which again, we use food and alcohol to soothe those feelings. So if you want to get out of that cycle, you have to start learning how to encourage yourself in soft and kind and compassionate and positive ways. And when you shift your self-talk and you actually start noticing what you're doing well and the improvements that you're making, and if you're not doing well, saying, okay, what could I do better? How can I make it easy on myself? How can I give myself goals that don't feel overwhelming and work with where I'm at? How can I be kind to myself? How can I be compassionate with myself? How can I not pressure myself to try to be perfect because I'm human and I'm not perfect? None of us are perfect. The more that you can shift your mindset to being kind and encouraging, not saying, oh, well, I'm not going to try, it's okay to be lazy. That's not the self talk I'm talking about. It's saying, I can do this, even if it's a small change. Small change is better than no change at all. But being encouraging with yourself to make small or big changes and noticing the small wins that you're making, small or big wins, that is what's going to fuel your journey and keep you going and consistent, which is ultimately what's going to get you to your dream body. And for me, that was the major shift that I made. And once I made that mindset shift and that self talk shift, and every time I caught myself being mean to myself, saying, how can I shift this into something positive and encouraging? That is when my fitness journey and my body and my life changed.